Hello, are you somebody living with a chronic disease that you're not getting help from the doctors? Are you someone who your doctors say they can't find anything wrong in any of the labs that they've run on you? Any of the exams they performed on you? They can't find why you have various symptoms? Have you just accepted that your illness is more of an invisible illness because doctors tell you that it's just all in your head? Are you someone who just wants results and you want to put the horrible experience of your chronic disease behind you? If you are, raise your hand now and say yes. My name is Dr. Herman, and in just a moment we're going to watch a brief excerpt of an amazing testimonial from this wonderful woman who's come to my clinic, and after just a few visits with me, years of serious symptoms disappeared. Years of symptoms like neck and arm pain, edema, cramps in the legs, numbness, nausea, bloating, head pain, anxiety, brain fog, asthma, and an inability to regulate her blood pressure. You watch these results that she's about to share with you. Watch a brief testimonial. When we come back in just a moment, I'm going to make you a free offer. I'm going to share with you some of her exam findings. And then at the end of this video, you'll be able to watch her complete testimonial and hopefully inspire yourself with this information, to inspire you to pick up the phone and become my patient here and help yourself get on track with getting your life back. We'll be right back. Watch this brief excerpt of this video, and I'll see you in another moment. You had a neck pain and that neck pain that went down the right arm. And how constant was that neck and arm pain?
It was chronic. It was every day, constantly.
Never went away. And that was because you had the clots in the brain, something
I
happened.
I had blood clots in my brain in February of 2020. I was in the hospital for 15 days.
Even after the hospital, they released you, the neck and the arm pain was still there.
Oh, absolutely. And I had edema, something fierce. I could barely walk because of all the pharmaceuticals they had me on.
And so the arm pain, the neck and arm pain, scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is the worst?
Oh, it was a 10.
Where is it now?
It's gone.
Gone.
Oh, it's been gone for, I couldn't even tell you when.
Awesome. Since we started, since after we
started. Yeah. It's amazing. I'm a different person than I was a year ago.
Now that you took those highly energized, specific, effective, and safe liquid drops, that whole edema, the numbness in foot, it's gone.
Yep, it's gone.
You had bloating problems in your abdomen, and you also had nausea.
It had been going on since I had the blood clots constantly. I was drinking 7-Up because it was the only thing that was helping me before I met you.
And now, is there any bloating or nausea?
No.
0.
No, because the remedies completely emptied my bowels completely out. I mean, the things that were in that toilet, oh boy, I'm like, those were in my body. Wow.
That all came out. One of your symptoms was you had a constant head pain.
Oh, yeah.
And now the head pain is
completely gone.
How bad was that on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 was the worst?
It was 10.
You had brain fog. That was really bad. You couldn't focus. You couldn't concentrate. When we clean that up out of your brain, the brain fog is gone. And you're able to, your writing and everything came back to good normal function?
Yeah. I don't even have to think about it anymore. Just like I did before. I never thought about it. My brain's never been smarter.
So it's all cleared
I'm
up
super duper excited. Well, and remember, at first I couldn't sign my name. Math and English were a problem as well.
Another symptom, you had an exercise-induced asthma. At least that's what you had called it, or maybe a physician called it.
Yeah, one of my doctors did. Yeah, he actually gave me an inhaler, which I ended up having like some kind of thrush or something in my mouth. It was awful. It was just awful. It didn't help at all. Nothing helped me until I came to see you.
And now that's gone. You can exercise, you can walk, you can ride a bike, and
I can do whatever I want now. When you're mindful of your brain not working properly, that made it that much worse. And for somebody like me that is like a sponge for learning, it just did something to me. And it took the joy right out of my life. And there was very few things that would perk me up. But once I met with you and I could see the remedies working, I had so much hope, and I knew you were going to cure me because they weren't with pharmaceuticals. I knew I needed holistic medicine, and you were it. You were it. Yoda.
Thank you.
I've talked to multiple patients that have come into your office about their symptoms, and we're all the same. It takes a little longer, but it's worth the wait, because look at me. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. I've never been happier in my life and healthier.
All right. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. She's so happy to share with you how she has her life back finally after following the care that I've offered her that no other doctor could figure out, no hospital could figure out, no doctor could figure out. So now let me make you that free offer. I'll be back in just a moment. You can go on my website and download my book for free, but how you can reclaim your health, how you can use quantum energized medicine protocols to actually reverse seemingly incurable chronic illnesses or chronic diseases. Download my book, read it. It's very simple, 40 pages. Maybe it'll take you about an hour. And inside that book, there are a lot of big pictures. It's big font. There's not too much reading, literally maybe an hour. There are 3 links inside my book that you should click on and read more about my work, about my unique quantum food sensitivity assessment examination that we perform on every patient, about my quantum dental assessment, as well as on the very last page, I highly recommend, because you're going to want to know how I do what I do for people. I give a brief insight to that on my journey as a physician to become your physician who gives you the answers, as well as into my method of how I'm doing what I'm doing and the science behind it. On the very last page, click that link. It brings you to a private page on my website. And on this page, you can watch a 42-minute video in where I'm presenting my journey as a physician, the type of labs I used to run, my education, my background, as well as my method, okay? Okay, so what I found with Natalie that helped her get her life back, what I helped her remove from her body to help her get her life back, a few of the things I discovered. Her kidneys were loaded with dental anesthesia chemicals. Dental anesthesia in the kidneys. Kidneys were not strong enough to get rid of that chemical. You know, when your mouth is numb and it wears off after a few hours after a dental procedure, where did that chemical go? Well, it went to her kidneys, and the kidneys help regulate blood pressure. How are they going to be able to regulate the blood pressure when they're loaded with the numbing chemical? I found her kidneys had multiple mold infections. Her kidneys had mercury in them as well. How are those kidneys going to be able to help regulate her blood pressure? I also found her lungs had 5 different candida infections. Her sinuses had candida. I found her trachea with candida. Also, what we did for Natalie is a very unique and thorough dental examination that I performed with her, and I found multiple teeth were infected in her mouth. I had a dentist extract those teeth. Upon his examination of them, of course, he extracted those teeth, and I was able to find where those infections from those teeth traveled to her body. Part of the infection from the teeth actually went through the blood vessels up to the brain. Part of the infection from the teeth went to her sinuses, went to her lungs, her stomach, her spleen, to the memory part of her brain, went to the heart and her liver. Just by getting an infected tooth out of the mouth is not going to get the infection from the tooth that traveled, that migrated over the years to the brain or to the thyroid or the stomach. So I have a specific, unique formula that we created for her in our laboratory here that helped the body rid those dental infections from those parts of her brain, her stomach, and so on. I also found that she had multiple candida infections and mold infections in specific blood vessels in the brain. So these highly effective liquid energized drops helped rid those infections from those blood vessels in her brain as well. Upon her return, which is about 5 months after when I first examined her, upon her return to my clinic, I found that she had the residues of the MMR vaccine, of tetanus shots, and of the DPT vaccine in her lymphatic system. And we provided safe and effective liquid energized drops that helped her lymph drain those vaccine chemicals so that it helped to reduce the edema in her body. After she followed that protocol, 2 months later, she returned again for her next examination. And what I found with her was that she had Epstein-Barr virus infecting her kidneys. She had multiple bacteria affecting her brain. She had toxins from a bacteria called C. diff, or Clostridium difficile, C. diff toxin A and C. diff toxin B, infecting her thyroid. She had bacterial infections in her lungs. She had the C. diff toxin A and B in her lungs. She had Aspergillus fungus and histoplasma fungus in her stomach. She had chemicals from a surgery from years ago, the anesthetic chemical, in parts of her brain, especially in the frontal lobe of her brain. She also had parasitic infection in her connective tissues. Again, the similar type of treatment was provided. These highly effective liquid energized drops were provided to her to help her body get rid of these specific infections from her brain, her blood vessels, and her organs, and her lymph. And the results are nothing short of outstanding. She has completely recovered with my help, where nothing else worked for her in the past. Nothing. If you want relief from your symptoms, don't think this is too good to be true, because it's not. You can go on my YouTube channel, you can go to my Facebook page, go on my website, look around. I've got several outstanding video testimonials of other very happy patients who have just gotten their life back with my work. My name is Dr. Lonnie Herman again, and I'm here to help you. I do want to let you know that it's impossible for me to predict how many different infections and chemicals have gotten into your brain or into your stomach or into your bones or into your muscles or your organs or your lymphatic system. It's impossible to predict that. But with the type of work that I offer you, we can find those different infections, those layers upon layers of different infections and chemicals, and help your body safely and effectively rid the hidden causes of your particular disease. So when I say I don't know how many different infections have caused your condition, we can have two people enter the clinic with similar symptoms, the same gender, similar age group, similar part of this country, or similar part of the world that they come to my clinic from, and understand that one person might have only one infection causing all the symptoms, and one person might have 20 different infections causing all the symptoms. And the speed at which your body can actually eliminate these infections may also play a role in the length of time it takes for you to recover. I'm happier if you recover in just one visit. I don't want you to have to come back a second or a third or fourth time, but it just might be necessary. You have your own unique puzzle that we have to figure out, and we can. With enough time, you too can get better. For her, it took about 9 months total working with her to get her completely better. Not even 9 months, maybe it was 8 months. Completely better. 100% relief of all the symptoms. Again, her neck and arm pain completely gone. Her edema completely gone. The cramps in her toes and the cramps in her legs completely gone. The numbness in her left foot gone. Nausea gone. Bloating gone. Head pain gone. Anxiety gone. Brain fog, asthma, and blood pressure dysregulation all gone from working with me in my clinic. You too can get better. I'm here to help you. Just know that you will have to invest in yourself for the type of care that I'm offering. Insurance companies just don't recognize this, and there's nothing else that I can do about their policies or your policy that you have with your insurance company. They won't cover this. If you can get better, you'll have to invest in yourself. Just know that before you call. Again, you can call my clinic at 954-370-3100. That's 954-370-3100. You can email my clinic at clinic@drlonnieherman.com. You can visit on my website. There is a place on my website to book an appointment with me. You can even fill in the calendar yourself. It's very simple, okay? I look forward to helping you too. Why don't you stay and watch her complete testimonial video, and then pick up the call and realize your healing is not too far away, and it is possible. I'll see you soon. You or someone you love is suffering from a chronic illness where you have gotten no relief from all the treatments, all the therapies, the diets, the supplements, the medications, the different medical exams you've gone through, the different hospital stays perhaps, the different blood tests you've taken. If you're one of those people who are still suffering from your invisible illness that's causing you multiple symptoms, raise your hand and say yes, and get ready to hear this amazing, outstanding story of a patient's recovery. Natalie, who's on this video with me, she's one of my patients. She's had an amazing, positive outcome, relief of multiple symptoms from the treatments that we've offered her. So first thing I'd like to do with you, Natalie, is to go over the list of symptoms that you came here with, the difference of where it was to where it is now, and then you can describe what it was like for you before and what it's like now for you after you felt the relief. Okay, so you had a neck pain and that neck pain that went down the right arm, right? And how constant was that neck and arm pain?
It was chronic. It was every day, constantly. It never went away.
Never went away. And that was because you had the clots in the brain, something
I
happened.
had blood clots in my brain in February of 2020. I was in the hospital for 15 days.
And so even after the hospital, they released you, the neck and the arm pain was still there.
Oh, absolutely. And I had edema, something fierce. I could barely walk because of all the pharmaceuticals they had me on.
And so the arm pain, the neck and arm pain scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is the worst, what was your?
Oh, it was a 10.
It was a 10. Where is it now?
It's gone.
Gone. How long has it been gone for?
Oh, it's been gone for, I couldn't even tell you when.
Awesome. Since we started, since after we started.
Yeah. It's amazing. I'm a different person than I was a year ago.
I remember when I first met you, the tears that were rolling down your face when you came in my clinic of how bad it was for you.
Oh,
Not
it was
just from
awful.
the neck pain, but there's a few other symptoms. You had cramps in your toes and in your legs.
Yep.
And those were constant, or did they come and go?
In my toes, it was really weird and nothing made sense. But honestly, I think when you did the food allergy testing, I think that's what helped immensely, because I got those foods that had poison in them to start with, because that's what the government does. But I got those toxins out of my body because I stopped eating them. I mean, what was it? I could only have 3 spices the first time around. I'd have
to look through that, but yeah, we were.
Yeah, it was like I could only have 3 spices, and I was like, okay, so and down here in the Florida Keys, everything's organic, so to eat healthy was easy, and food tastes like food should taste like, because it didn't have chemicals in it.
That's a good thing. So the cramps in the leg and the cramps in the toes, that's gone.
They're gone.
And was that a constant thing, a constant symptom before we started, or was that a coming and go on and off?
The cramp, no, that would just come and go. No rhyme or reason. Nothing made sense why.
How many weeks or months has it been since you felt those cramps in the toes and the legs?
Months.
You had numbness in your foot.
I think that went away in December.
And was that in the left or the right foot? I don't remember
the left foot.
The left foot. Was that the top or the bottom of the left foot, or both, the whole foot?
It was the top of it at first, and then it went underneath it. And then the weirdest thing was the edema in my legs started up again. But that was after I tested positive for all 3 of those vaccines. All those, I was getting better in September from the remedies. And then in September, I felt like I was dying. And that's when I came in to see you in October, and I tested positive for all 3 of the vaccines.
Right, the shedding of the vaccine, which I'll talk about in another video. But now that you took those highly energized, specific, effective, and safe liquid drops, that whole edema, the numbness in foot, it's gone.
Yep, it's gone.
At least a couple of months gone.
Absolutely. It's been, I think probably, I would say, if I had to really guesstimate, probably the latter part of December, the end of December, because when I came in there in December, I had those same symptoms.
One of your symptoms when we first started care was you had nausea, and you had bloating problems in your abdomen, and you also had nausea. And that was going on for how long before you came to my clinic, the original?
It had been going on since I had the blood clots constantly. I was drinking 7-Up because it was the only thing that was helping me before I met you.
And now, is there any bloating or nausea?
No.
0.
No, because the remedies completely emptied my bowels completely out. I mean, the things that were in that toilet, oh boy, I'm like, those were in my body. Wow.
That all came out.
It all came out, and it was like sludge. It was gross, but you know what? Talk about making you feel a lot better.
Yeah, Get rid of the stuff that was in you, that was hurting you.
Absolutely.
One of your
Absolutely.
symptoms was you had a constant head pain,
Oh, yeah.
and that was going on since the blood clots time in 2020.
Yes.
And that was still existing, even though they let you out of the hospital. When you came to my clinic, you still had the head pain. And now the head pain is
Completely gone.
how bad was that on a scale of 0 to 10? If 10 was the worst,
It was 10
it was a 10, and now it's gone. How long has it been gone for?
since January.
Anyway, you had anxiety. How was that a constant problem, emotional problem for you, the anxiety, or was that an on and off experience?
Yeah, it was really weird because I really never, I never really noticed that I'd had anxiety before, but the pharmaceuticals were doing a number on me because I wasn't getting any better. So it was really working on my emotions, which was making me, making me depressed. My PTSD was kicking in. Well, since all that, I've been cured from it all and been released from I had a psychiatrist say, no, you don't have PTSD nor depression. I'm like, you got that right.
So, and that's all gone.
It's all gone.
You had brain fog that was really bad. You couldn't focus. You couldn't concentrate. How bad
Yeah,
was that for you?
my brain's never been smarter.
So it's all cleared
I'm
up now.
super duper excited. Well, and remember at first I couldn't sign my name. Math and English were a problem as well.
Mhm.
So I had to relearn all that stuff while I was taking the remedies. And finally, I was able, after signing my name thousands of times doing tax returns, I couldn't believe when I was being released from the hospital, I couldn't make out the last 4 characters. I just kind of scribbled it off, and it really did a number on me. So that didn't help either.
And since we cleaned up what we cleaned up out of your brain, when we cleaned that up out of your brain, the brain fog is
Gone.
gone, and you're able to, your writing and everything came back to good
Yep.
normal function.
Yeah. I don't even have to think about it anymore. Just like I did before. I never thought about it.
Another thing another symptom, you had an exercise induced asthma. At least that's what you had called it, or maybe a physician called it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
how,
Yeah. One of my doctors did. Yeah.
and how
Because
bad
when
was,
I work out and do insanity workouts, I would constantly be coughing. And so that doctor just said, oh, just take a cough and cold. It's like asthma. He actually gave me an inhaler, which I ended up having like some kind of thrush or something in my mouth. It was awful. It was just awful. It didn't help at all. Nothing helped me until I came to see you.
and now that's gone. You can exercise,
Yep.
you can walk, you can ride a bike, and no,
I could do whatever I want now. Yep.
awesome. One of the other problems that you had, one of the other symptoms was you'd have a fluctuation in your blood pressure. Sometimes you'd have a low blood pressure, sometimes a high blood pressure is what you reported
Yep.
to me. And was that fluctuating? Was that like on a daily basis that it could go up or down? Was it sometimes in one day it would go up, one day, one later in the day go down? How was that happening?
It was the stress, any undue stress that was inflicted upon me, because that was the one thing when I was in the hospital, having chest pain in 2019, that the doctor said I had to avoid stress. And then once the blood clots kicked in, they said avoid stress. So then anytime stress inflicted me, everything got worse, and it just magnified everything.
Mhm. Has there been any time, and you still have stress in your life, has been any challenge now with keeping your blood pressure normal?
No, and that stopped in February,
Mhm.
because I had an unfortunate personal events that had occurred, and it did a number. It did a number stress wise on my body, and it increased my blood pressure. But I just ended up getting it under control and getting rid of the stress.
Mhm. So happy for you that you're so much better now. And I remember how it was when I met you. Here's the accountant who couldn't even concentrate anymore, couldn't even like do numbers anymore and focus on anything. And you were in great, terrible tears, and life was not good for you at that time.
No, it was not.
I'm sorry.
It sucked.
Sucked. And
It
now,
did. When you're mindful of your brain not working properly, that made it that much worse. And for somebody like me that is like a sponge for learning, it just did something to me, and it took the joy right out of my life. And there was very few things that would perk me up, but once I met with you and I could see the remedies working, I had so much hope, and I knew you were going to cure me because they weren't with pharmaceuticals. I knew I needed holistic medicine, and you were it. You were it.
Hmm.
Yoda.
Thank you. That's the nickname you gave me. I appreciate that.
Or the golden child. I still haven't decided which one I should call you.
Thank you. Is there anything that how did you find me, by the way? That made you come to
Actually,
my clinic?
this
What did
is
you
a
find?
funny story. It's a really cool story, though. I was watching a video. I can't remember what the woman singer was, but in it, this woman had POTS, POTS. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks like me. So I said something to a girlfriend back in Indiana about it. And she had a friend that came to see you. And she goes, you need to go see him. Now that's a person in Indiana that just for me saying these symptoms sound like something I have. And that's how I came to see you.
Is there anything that you want to tell the people who are listening to you to this discussion, who maybe think it's too good to be true, or have tried different things, or haven't tried different things, but just really don't know what to do when they're listening to this and have some hope? Or is there
Well, this
anything
is
that
the
you
way
want
I
to
look
talk about
at
your
it.
experience and what's taken place for you here?
Okay, so my best way of describing it is insanity. Okay, so an insanity workout, you do get results because it's muscle confusion. So you are going to get different results when you do it because your muscles are so confused. But with pharmaceuticals, you keep repeating the same thing, expecting different results. Well, it's not going to do anything. It doesn't heal you. It's a Band-Aid. But your remedies are not. I've talked to multiple patients that have come into your office about their symptoms, and we're all the same. It takes a little longer, but it's worth the wait because look at me. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. I've never been happier in my life and healthier.
And when we can provide the very safe and very effective, these liquid energized drops to get rid of those infections and chemicals, your body has come back to what it should be, what it can be.
Right.
And those symptoms just left you. So it's pretty awesome. And I thank you for getting on this call with me today. And with your permission, I could share those exam findings, right, with everybody?
Absolutely. Share away.
Thank you.